Hello everyone, this is Vince, also known as Night Crusader, which is on Twitter at Night Crusader, spelled with a K, and nightcrusader.tumblr.com. These are all my personal different pages. You can follow me, you can get updates, and you can hear more about the world of night transportation and the world of trucking. So really exciting things happening on those pages, and of course I'm on YouTube under Vincent Riley. So we're in part 2 of the orientation primer is what I'm calling it, and I'm here to give you the update on days 2 and day 3. These are tough days. They're pretty grueling. And there is a 4th day, which I've yet to do, but I can pretty much tell you what's going to happen on day 4. I'm going to wait because I want to go through the experience to properly relate to you what happens on day 4. So day 2 is a lot of paperwork. Now, for those of you that have been through the military, you'll remember this volume of paperwork. It's similar, and I'm not kidding. I was handed a stack of paperwork about that thick. Manuals, tests, quizzes, surveys, you name it, it's all in there. And you're going to go through everything piece by piece on a PowerPoint presentation with a guy reading it back to you, and then somebody in the classroom that's going to actually go over the points that the virtual host doesn't go over. You're going to do some tests in class. You're going to answer these questions after you read these. Some of these manuals are pretty thick, and you're going to have to go and answer the questions. Now, these are called tests, but they're open book. The hardest one is the FMSCA manual, I believe it's called. It's basically the DOT manual on truck driving. It's a green manual, and everyone is required to carry it in their truck at all times. Now, for those of you that are purist truck drivers that have the name of this manual memorized, I apologize. It will be in the text right down there when I type it out later. Because I don't have the manual in front of me. I'm just basically doing this whole thing, off the cuff because I want it to be a little bit more personal. But the manual is I'm going to be honest with you all. Lawyers should not write manuals, just like engineers should not write manuals for things like DVD players and so forth. Just bad. Written poorly. In some cases, not even written by an engineer, written by a lawyer. Pardon. It's maddening to go through, and it's tough. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip. This same manual is available on an official government website, and it's a lot easier to use it on the website, and you will have to take this home to finish it. The website is actually broken into categories, and you can match everything on that test, which isn't really that long, but when you figure out about how much searching you have to do what I did. A lot of people tried to do it in class, and I think a lot of people were just making themselves crazy trying to find this stuff because of the way the manual is written and broken down. I put it in my bag. I said, I'll do it tonight. I'm not doing it now. I'm going to try to use the internet. And I'll be honest, my intent was to cheat and find the answers, and which is what I did, but they were on the official government website. And if you can call finding the category you're looking for cheating, then guilty as charged. But it's there, and that's where I found all my answers, was surprisingly the government website. That is going to be the toughest test because it's so time-consuming to go through that little green book. It'll drive you nuts. Don't let it drive you nuts. You'll get through it. It's cool. You go through the other tests, the other questionnaires. If you're refrigerated, or as they call, and I think it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, reefer, you will be going through things related to refrigerated. You're also going to go through the Qualcomm device, which is how your dispatcher and whatnot. That is how they're going to communicate with you on the road. You also get your directions on this device. You'll have to put in your inspection logs when you're sleeping. All this stuff is regulated, and DOT inspectors will ask to see this device, so you got to keep on it. That's the important thing. They're going to expect you to remember what they call macro codes. These are numbers. For me, without doing something hands-on, I don't absorb things. I think this is one of those scenarios where one size fits all doesn't really work. I think that before they test you, which they will do, I'll get to that in a minute because that was day 3. Before they test you, they should let you have a hands-on experience, go through, perform some of the functions in sort of a mock-up type of thing, and just, get a feel for what you're doing, because for me, that's how I'm going to absorb it. Some people can just absorb things from a book. Those people are in my class. I'm not one of them. I need to really get in there and get my hands dirty, so to speak. So you're going to go through all of those different things. You're going to go through when your vehicle needs to be serviced, your truck needs to be serviced. You're going to go through, what proper downtime etiquette is and how it's regulated by the DOT. You cannot drive for more than 11 hours. You must sleep for 10 hours, and for 4 of those hours are yours to do whatever you want. But you must sleep, be on sleep detail for 10, and idle for 4, and you can only drive for 11. Does that add up? No, it doesn't. I got one of those wrong. Well, you get the basic idea. So that's what happened on day 2. Day 3 and day 4 kind of blended together, but they did that today, the testing, and they did more testing today. They did a test on the Qualcomm device, which the Qualcomm device, like I said, I need to get my hands-on experience. And they also tested on the downtime. And the downtime, this is important stuff to know because you have got to follow policy and procedure. This is stuff that, you can get in real trouble for not following. The trucking industry is not the rogue industry it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. It is watched closely. Too many trucker accidents, too many deaths. They're keeping an eye on truckers. If you follow the rules, you won't have a problem. But they're going to tell you about maintenance on your truck. That was part of today's thing. The mechanic came in and told us maintenance about checking your tire pressure and making sure belt wear was proper for your drive belt, and going around and doing your inspection on the truck, making sure your ABS light is plugged in because you'll get a point for that if DOT pulls you over. And then they started what is going to bleed over into day 4. They started the Smith system testing. Smith system is the way everybody should be driving. I was raised to drive this way. My dad did not call it Smith system. The stone cold fact is about 90% of the human population drives awful. 100% thinks that they're above average. The Smith system takes into consideration the fact that everybody really kind of sucks at driving, and assumes that we all believe that we drive well, and also assumes that we don't, and gives us certain tools so that we can avoid accidents a lot more than the average driver. These are good principles. After you go through these principles and you go through the manual in class, you're going to be taken on the road. First thing, before you've even had a chance to drive a truck, you're going to be taken in a van or a car, and you're going to be expected to practice, put into practice what you learned about the Smith system. And you're basically, the whole thing is everything you don't do as a driver now, you're going to start putting into play. That means scanning ahead 15 seconds, not 3. Some states teach 3, some teach 6. I was raised at 10 to 15. Constantly checking all your sides, giving yourself buffer room, all stuff that is basically going to have to take responsibility for everyone else's stupidity on the road so that you don't become a victim of somebody being dumb. Day 4, or day 5, I don't even know what day I'm on anymore, guys. I am so tired, is going to be the completion of this. During all this time, this is a side note, during all this time while you're in class doing this, the people out on the floor are checking your background, front to back rather, and some people don't make it. We had a couple people that left our class. It's just what happens. Make sure you got a clean history. Make sure that there's nothing they can find. Make sure that you are honest with yourself and the people around you, because night is strict. The plus side, you're getting into a company that is known for treating their employees like people. A lot of companies, most companies, regard their drivers as numbers. Night, the first day I'm there, and I'm not exaggerating, knew my name. People I hadn't met knew my name. That is some serious groundwork, and I'm astounded. I've never worked for a company that paid attention to such a small detail like that. When I get done with the final day, I'll let you know how the Smith test goes. Until then, take care.